What is up to all the Untin Inc. viewers? In this video, we want to have some fun. In this video, we want to take a look at the dumbest criminals caught on camera. We hope you like them. When you go to a kebab shop and you see this type of meat, it makes you really hungry. But it seems like this guy couldn't control himself. Sometimes security cameras catch something that's actually really funny. Right here, this guy is using a barrel or a kick to break a glass window to get inside. But instead of reaching in and opening it with the handle, he climbs inside. This woman put a 24-pack of soda in her dress. This guy stole a 12-pack of beer and he wants to run inside his friend's car to get away, but an accident takes place. This guy put on a necklace and he tried to run away with it, but he didn't know the owner put electronic locks. This is what we call a walk of shame. This guy seems like he really likes this bike and he has plans to steal it, but he doesn't have enough time. Maybe this guy should practice pulling out his weapon instead of doing this. Just look how he kicks the door when he runs out. They brought him into an interrogation room, but since there's no police, he makes a run for it. Sometimes when you're nervous, it seems like the simplest thing doesn't work. This guy has to click a button to very gently open the door. This guy thought he could pull a quick one. He tried to steal an expensive bicycle. Usually thieves take a door out to steal what's inside, but it seems like this guy needed this garage door. Even the dog is confused what this guy is doing. He stole a TV from somebody's porch, but he didn't realize it doesn't fit inside his car. These criminals didn't know that the glass they use in jewelry store is bulletproof, let alone hammer-proof. This guy went to the drive-thru to get his food, but since he realized the cashier walked away, he tried to steal the cashier's drawer, but he didn't realize that the drawer is too big for it to come out the window. This guy really needs a mattress, so he decides to steal one. I don't know if you call this dumb or smart. This guy stole this car, but he didn't have a key, so he made his friend push him out of there. The first guy wanted to take a bite, but it seems like this guy wants the whole skewer, but he doesn't know that it's extremely hot. This guy ran his car through the Apple store and tried to steal all the display phones. This guy comes down from the ceiling, but unfortunately, all doors are locked from both sides, so he can't escape. All this guy wanted was a Pepsi, but all the doors are locked. Literally used his kid as a human shield to steal this laptop. Some people have no shame. This person decides to steal something that's not that valuable, but it's kind of funny. These guys are trying to rob a restaurant, but it seems like they think they're commandos. This guy stole some money, but he forgot that he put it in his scarf, so the wind takes it all. This couple really needed this chair for their front yard, so they stole it. This guy thought stealing a laptop is very easy, but he forgot that they use extremely heavy wire to lock them up. These two are stealing shoes from these people's front porch, but they don't realize they're being recorded. This guy is smarter. He's using a shield so you don't see his face, but it seems like he was very curious, so eventually he shows his face. Maybe they should plan a little bit better, because this window is leading to nowhere. These two entered this electronics store to rob it, but the owner is outside and he closes the gate on them. Maybe one of the easiest catch for the police. This guy wanted to rob this place, so he decided to put a plastic bag over his face, but it's very transparent because you could clearly see his face. They break the glass to enter the store to rob it, but they struggle on the way out. This guy is a genius. He chains up an ATM machine to steal it and have all the cash to himself. But he forgets that they tie these down with 12-inch studs, so it's extremely hard to pull it out. A truck won't be able to do it, but something like this might. You can find plenty of these videos. This woman decided to rob this house with a mask, but it seems like she got too hot under there, so she decides to show herself. This guy is trying very hard to steal a gumball machine, something that's not worth that much. He went to a police station where there's a bicycle tied up, and he decides to take it, but he doesn't know there's cameras everywhere and they arrest him easily. The other guys wanted to break the glass with hammers. This guy is using a piece of rock. This is a group of thieves. Two of them distract the store owner, while one of them steals everything, but you could clearly see their faces in the camera. This guy enters the store underneath the fence, but he doesn't realize that once you get in, you can't get out the same way, so he gets caught very easily. This dude has his hands on his back, acting like it's a gun, and he's trying to rob this store. This guy just wants this TV from this lobby. He's struggling, so his friends come and help. They break the TV and decide to leave it and book it. He didn't realize that this vending machine is very heavy and it drops on him. Sometimes you can't even trust your neighbors. He stole his neighbor's package and he got caught while doing it. He didn't pay for his subway ticket, so he's running away, but he picks the wrong escalator because the police is just waiting for him down there. This guy thought this is an old Porsche convertible, so he can easily steal it, so he cuts the roof and gets inside, but he realizes it's harder than it looks, so he leaves. This dude wanted to rob this house, but he didn't realize that they have two dogs in the backyard. He's regretting that decision right about now. Florida, the 27th state of the US that has 21 million population. The Americans call this state the Sunshine State. But what makes Florida very famous all across the globe is the stories that come out of Florida that the people did. And most of them are crazy and hilarious. Non-Americans know this as well, because in social media, you see it all the time. The first story we're gonna talk about today is about straws, the same ones you drink out of. In the year 2018, they noticed that there's a lot of straws in the ocean, and it's damaging the turtles. because it goes inside their nose and suffocates them. And that is why Florida state set a rule that make the plastic straws into paper ones. And if you give a plastic straw, only give each customer one. Because in fast food restaurants, you could take as much straws as you want because it's just sitting there. After this law, Daniel Ray goes into the restaurant and orders a drink. Like the usual, he wanted to grab some straws, then he noticed that there wasn't any left. He asked the employees, why is there no more straws left? They said because each person only gets one straw from now on. When Daniel Ray noticed this, he got very angry, and all of a sudden, he attacked the lady that was talking to him. He beats her up and runs away. But the restaurant camera completely got his face, and he was arrested immediately. I don't know if his face was funny or sad. Because of what he did, he has to now sit in prison for more than 10 years because he assaulted a woman for no reason. And that was all because there was no more straws to give out. They say in prison when he sees a straw, he starts screaming. The next story is about a private plane by a Floridian. The people that live in Florida, a lot of them are retired folks from other states in the US. And that is why there's a lot of unemployed bored people. One of these guys that had a little bit of money got pretty bored. And he goes into the sky and with his plane, he draws a map. And the map exactly resembles a penis. What this guy did really messed everything up in the control tower because they were confused on what this guy was trying to point out and what is this. But it was nothing. It was just a Floridian that was bored. The next story that happens in Florida is a person goes to jail for attacking someone with a deadly weapon. You have to know that in Florida, there's a lot of alligators, and they can even be found on the street and people's backyard. This guy picks up an alligator and puts it in his car. You guys know, some restaurants, there's drive-thrus, and you could drive up and grab your food. He enters the drive-thru with the alligator. When he gets to the window pay, he rolls down his window and grabs the alligator and throws it inside the window. The alligator here is considered a deadly weapon. This was one of his things. And another one was cruelty to animals. And that's because he brought an alligator to somewhere that's not supposed to be. I don't know what the deal was and why he did this to this restaurant. As you know, in Florida, tornadoes happen, and obviously there's a lot of storms. I don't know who told the Floridian, but they were told that if you shot at the tornado, you will slow down the speed and it could stop. In the year 2018, when Hurricane Irma was happening, there were so many shootings towards the tornado, and the people that didn't know what's going on, they thought a war broke loose. And that is why all the counties of Florida somehow informed the people to not shoot at the tornado because you will only make it worse and create danger. The next story doesn't happen inside Florida. It happens in Georgia, the border of Florida basically. In the year 2018, Kerry Hammond decides to rob a GameStop, and he grabs a knife and goes where he wants to go. For him to not be recognized, he puts a plastic bag over his head. Under the plastic, he could barely breathe and robs the place and leaves. But before Kerry could get home, he was arrested because the plastic he had over his face was completely clear, and that is why the cameras could easily see him and the police easily captured him. Patrick Rempe, a 24-year-old Floridian. This guy was very sad because all of his best friends were caught doing something and they were all inside a prison. And he was depressed because he had no friends, and that is why he decides to break into prison. This guy climbs the prison fence and when he wants to come down, he gets stuck on the barbed wires. And obviously the guards see him and they were surprised, like, why is this guy breaking into prison? They eventually bring him down, and they notice that he's very drunk and his car is outside the fence, and when he arrived, he hit the fence very badly. They get him for a DUI and the damages that was caused to the prison fence. It's cool that Patrick goes to jail the next day, but not the jail that his friends were in. In the year 2018, a homeless person with the name of Jonathan Crenshaw had his arms missing because of an incident. He would draw pictures with his feet and sell it to tourists. One time a tourist comes and passes by and he was cutting stuff with scissors on his feet. Then all of a sudden, he uses the scissors to stab the tourist. There's a commotion and the police arrive. The police asked, why did you stab him? He said, because he wanted to steal my stuff. But the tourist said, I was just passing by, and then he stabbed me. The police search up Jonathan Crenshaw's name in the system and notice, wow, this guy does this all the time. Sometimes he gets angry and has a commotion between some people, and that is why they take him to jail. On another sunny day in Florida, Rocco Joseph Mantella heads outside to work out. I don't know if he saw a karate movie the night before or he was watching Bruce Lee, but he feels like a karate master. Since he couldn't find an opponent, all of a sudden he sees a swan. He goes towards it and starts fighting it karate style. He messes up the first swan, then starts to beat up a second one, and he also beats that thing. The people that were watching this in the park called the police, and that is why they got there. They arrest him because of cruelty to animals, and they take him to jail. And another story is that in 2012, a person named Rudy Eugene uses a drug that's called bath salts. At that time, they didn't know much about this drug, and they didn't know it will turn you into a zombie. Not the zombies from the movies, but something close. When he uses this drug, he sits behind the wheel. He crashes and he gets out and starts walking down the street. As he was walking down the street, he was stripping his clothes off. And then he confronts a homeless man that's laying on the ground. He attacks the homeless person and he keeps telling him, why did you steal my clothes? I don't know what this drug did to this person, but he goes and starts biting off this person's face, including his eyes and nose. The police was there and notices a commotion, and that is why he shoots in the air. But he sees the guy is not stopping and he keeps attacking, and that is why he was forced to shoot one in the chest of Eugene. But Eugene still wouldn't let go, and he was shot 3 more times. And after that, he eventually got down. The homeless person lost both of his eyeballs and his nose was ripped off. If you want to see the picture, you could just search Rudy Eugene on Google and you will find it. After this Florida incident, the bath salt drug was recognized all around and how dangerous it is. Unfortunately, nowadays, people in their kitchen all have types of drug labs, and bath salts is one of these examples. There's a lot of drugs like this with weird different names. Our team is working on it and finding all the names of these weird drugs, and we will make a video about this very soon and show you guys.